The other thing is you're dealing with technologies here that are so insanely advanced.
That's what I have learned over the last 6 months. I think they call it like the Tic Tac one that was ping pong in here, left, down, up, maybe even in the water and out of the water. Is that some technology you're referring to?
Yeah,
right
it's
there?
transmedium travel. You have something creating
What the hell is that?
Basically, the space universe is a fabric. Think of like you're holding a brick in your hand, like a sponge.
Okay.
And you could pull and bend on that sponge, but it's literally like a dense material, right? Well, the fabric of space-time is kind of like that. And these things, the evidence seems to suggest that they're displacing that fabric like a submarine does in the ocean, and they can materialize in and out of time. And it gets really complicated. But this is the other thing. We're not the only smart people in the world. Russia has some really smart people. China has some really smart people, and we're not all getting along. So if we were to let them know what we know, if we knew anything, then that could cause them to say, we got better shit than you got. So it's like you don't want to tell each other what you got, what you understand, what you've figured out. And so we're saying here, just tell us that it's real. They're saying, well, if we do, then you're going to ask how we know that. And then that leads into places we just can't discuss at this moment. And it has nothing to really do with the fact that we can't handle it, or maybe we can, or this or that. It has more to do with potentially where, whatever we're studying, in what we've learned, we're not only trying to keep it away from like adversaries here, maybe we're trying to keep it away from adversaries up there. It's like it's crazy. It has nothing to do with you and I.
Yes.
Is that of what's the most important piece of this? So I think we just have to give a lot of credit to our friends in the government that are normal dudes like you and I, but they're not sleeping at night, and they're very stressed out. And this isn't like, hey, they're just trying to keep it from us for money and oil money. And it's like so much bigger than that. It's literally a nuclear weapon across the world in 30 seconds. Ball of light. Boom. There's no defense against figuring this shit out. It's crazy.
One more thing, and then we'll move on. I want to get back to the music. What do you get out of this? Like, what inside your body when these things are happening and you're getting some validation for many of the things that you brought up? Like, how does this make you feel? Is this like a driving force? Like, look, I'm not crazy Tom. I was right. What I've been saying.
Contribution to changing the world. Like, I literally feel like I changed the world. Like, I really feel that. And I didn't do it alone, but I definitely started it. And it's not like I'm any more special or in any way than all the people that have come for decades and decades and decades and been studying this stuff that I've stood on their shoulders, but really what I was able to achieve was putting together a vehicle that can help bring about this discussion and break it out of the basement. And this is like, I remember when I was in high school, I wanted to be a firefighter, okay? Until they made me do push-ups, I was like, this is fucking stupid. Why the fuck do I have to do push-ups? I was a little skateboarder with like blue hair. And so I remember though learning, like, when you fight a fire, you don't spray the water at the fire, you spray it at the fuel, okay? That's kind of the thing. But what that really taught me was like, the root of all the problems on Earth, the fuel of it could be potentially related to the subject. And this subject could be the missing component for us to understand how we ended up the way we ended up. Not only genetically, belief systems, different types of cultures, and the way we look, and the way we think, and what we're predisposed to think and believe and act the way we act. And I think that, like, this is the fuel. This is like, if we attack this subject, it opens up the door to understand who we are, where we're going, what we're capable of, because it deals with consciousness. Now, people kind of go like UFOs, like, what does that have to do with consciousness? Well, as my partner Jim from the agency always says, it's like UFOs have something to do with the border between consciousness and quantum mechanics. And what that really means is reality infinitely is happening at one moment, past, present, future. There is no linear time. It's all parallel.
Whoa,
and that's
okay.
physics.
All right.
Which means with the right machinery, you can navigate backwards and forwards in time, or you can meditate and do the same thing. And so what gets really interesting quick is once we learn what they are, what they're doing, and how they're different from us, potentially, then we start to understand, whoa, we're pretty powerful. This is really like big boy stuff where we have the potential to understand how we create reality. Like consciousness controls matter, and no mind over matter. That's where that comes from. But that's like physics. So I believe by doing all this, bringing about a discussion of discovering what these are,
Yes.
really opens the door to discussing. We discovered consciousness, and how does that apply to us?
Amazing.
And once we do that, game on.